Welcome to Executive Leaders Radio. In this hour, you'll hear directly from our region's finest business leaders. Through each of the interviews, these high-achieving leaders become relatable role models who share how they were able to build their enterprise, their personal secrets of success, about leadership styles and opportunities that lie ahead. Prepare to be inspired and entertained, and to hear wisdom unheard elsewhere. Executive Leaders Radio.
You're listening to Executive Leaders Radio, broadcast from the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. This is your host, John Schuhart. Mark, tell us who we have on the show today.
Yes, we have Robert Epstein, President and CEO of AboutWeb, Byron Cherry, President and CEO of Succeed to Lead, Robert Kinsler, Founder and CEO of United Fray, and finally Dave Kerrigan, owner of Billman Company.
We have several co-hosts today to help me interview our guest. We have Mike Rosenau from the Arlington Chamber of Commerce, Mark Haas from AEG, Alonzo Zamora from White Glove Solution, and Bob Sprague from Yes And. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Robert Epstein. Robert, what is AboutWeb?
AboutWeb is a cybersecurity company. We focus on IT solutions, product development, and also training.
How large or how small is it?
We have about 50 employees, and we also have contractors.
And how did you get involved?
I started the company in 1998. It's actually the third company that I've grown, and now actually I'm on my fourth with AboutWeb. And we had one spinoff from AboutWeb. It's called Career Bank. Became one of the largest internet companies in the country. But AboutWeb is primarily focused on government contracting, really helping to make the country a little bit safer.
And where were you born, Robert?
I was actually born in Washington, D.C., so I'm a native Washingtonian. And then my formative years were in Wheaton, Maryland.
And tell us about your parents.
So my dad was a psychologist. He worked for the Veterans Administration, and he also worked for Goodwill. So he really helped the veterans who came back from the wars. The World War II, Korean War folks did fine. The Vietnam veterans, unfortunately, struggled a lot. And that was really during my childhood. So I saw how much he cared and tried to help them. And my mom was an amazing business lady. She was from, again, World War II Depression era. So a lot of women did not go to college back then, but she probably would have done great if she did. Great with budgets, saving money, great marketing. Learned a lot there from both of them, and also learned a lot from my uncle, who was a great business person.
All right, thanks.
Before the show, you shared with us that one of your avocations is running a band. And I'm wondering, a lot of psychology and a lot of business go into running a band. How did your experience with your mom and dad lead to that passion?
Well, I grew up in a very musical family. My grandfather could play by ear, my dad could play by ear, and I can play by ear. My wife is actually a classically trained pianist. All my kids play music. And we just have a love of music. It's a way to build on life. When you have a band, it's like a marriage. So there's give and take and compromise and egos and all those kinds of things. And when you're a bass player like me, there's no ego. You just sit back and follow the drums. But luckily, what I've been able to do is, I always was dreamed of being a rock star. Well, that didn't turn out to be the case. So instead, I was more realistic and grew companies, but I still can give back a lot to charity through my band, which is called Lulu's World Rock Band.
Does running the company call on some of the same skills as running the band?
Very similar. There's a lot of give and take. You have to build things by consensus. Anyone who runs a business based on dictatorship is doomed to failure. You have to get people to buy into what you're doing, and then get them to achieve the best they can achieve.
Growing up, what sports did you play?
I played baseball and soccer, and I also ran track. I was timed at 9.8, 100-yard dash. Wanted to try it for the Junior Olympics, but actually I was working 3 jobs at that time in high school to help save for college. And so I couldn't take off from work that day, so I didn't get to do that. But I think speed was really my talent. I was an okay athlete, but speed carried the day.
What did you learn from all those experiences playing with teams or your individual accomplishments?
I saw a lot of coaches over the years that I thought were quite horrible, beat down the confidence of kids, and they carry that for the rest of their life. So I had a mission that if when I got a little bit older, I would become a coach as a volunteer, and I'm certified in 5 sports as a high school coach. And I focus on kind of the motley crew of kids who are not the greatest athletes, but learn how to build teamwork together. And we've won 15 championships together in multiple sports with a variety of kids. I just like building that, and the same skills with that go into building companies.
So you're all about building people up and helping people. Is that true?
What I like to do is I see the value in individuals. We run a program out of AboutWeb called AboutWeb Cares. I take people who are former opioid addicts, returning citizens from prison, maybe need a second chance, made some mistakes in their life, and I look for the positive or the value in someone, and I give them an opportunity. I'm not a handout person, I'm a hand-up person. So I'm very tough on that, and so we focus. We have an office in Baltimore City where some of the mentality there is hand out. The folks come into my program they learn that it's hand up real quick or they're out, and you'd be amazed on how many people just want an opportunity. And with that opportunity, they can do amazing things. And we've created a lot of cyber warriors out of these folks who were utterly no one even give you a chance to.
So where in your childhood did you get this mentality?
Well, I grew up in Wheaton, Maryland, which is a relatively diverse area. And it was a little less diverse back then, but it was still diverse. And you learn about the value of all different kinds of people, all different cultures, and what are the positives they can bring to the table. And it's amazing, some of the people, one of the guys I can remember that we carpooled with because he didn't have enough money to have a car, and his mom would ask, would he carpool with us to high school, so we'd pick him up. He now became one of the top lawyers for the NBA Players Association, and that guy grew up with nothing. So of all kinds of success stories, one of the guys that lived in the apartment complex across from me went to Harvard, all kinds of things. So you could see that if someone's given an opportunity, then you got to see what they can do with it.
Alonzo?
How does your 50 employees feel about you giving back? Do they know?
They love the concept, and my goal right now with the company is to grow our company because we completely self-fund this program. What I'm trying to teach folks is don't ask for government handouts, don't ask for government grants. We funded what I call a 2+1 model, our AboutWeb Cares program. For every 2 people we put out billable, we take some of those funds, we make a little less profit, and we invest in changing a life. And they get micro-certified within 3 months, and within 6 to 9 months, they've doubled and tripled their income, and their whole life changes. They move out of poverty-stricken areas. Everything in IT, there's so many openings in IT. It's just a wonderful program. We're so proud of it, and everyone's motivated to grow our company because they want to see more lives changed.
That's awesome. That's great. And how does your farming when you were 13 years old, how does it relate to cybersecurity? Can you tell me about when you lost money in your first company?
So what you learn about things is hard work doesn't always necessarily translate to success, but perseverance translates into success. So I farmed for a whole summer, tilled the whole backyard. My mom said, don't touch the front. I could touch the back. And I lost $58.49 not paying myself, and with all the renting tillers, et cetera. And so I learned, okay, that didn't necessarily work out, but I tried it. I don't know if you call that a failure. It's a learning experience. But then you take that learning experience, and what did I learn? I learned a little bit about business, a little about marketing tomatoes to different stores, and you take what you can deem positive successes from that and build on it for your next opportunity.
Sounds great. So what do you do with non-humans?
My wife and I rescue dogs from high health shelters. There's a few in South Carolina that they kill all the dogs every Thursday, whether there's room or not room. Horrible. They just go down the row and inject them all. And so we're part of a group called Lucky Dog, and we've rescued 29 dogs from certain death. We are a foster family. We house them at our house. It's kind of like the Marriott, or as I say, the Days Inn. And we until they find homes. Usually it takes 2 to 3 weeks. We have 4 dogs of our own. I have 3 kids and 1 wife.
So what do the dogs and the kids and the wife think about all these rescue efforts and bootstrap efforts to help people?
Well, they learn about giving back to society and making the world better, whether it's animals, whether it's people, that every life has value. And we've seen all kinds of dogs. It's amazing. You have stereotypes with people, you have stereotypes with dogs, and I think people need to get those filters out of their head. The dogs I love the most now are pit bulls. They are the sweetest, kindest dogs, and yet they're banned from certain neighborhoods. It all depends on the owner. I would not have known that going in, but Some of them are on the kill list, and they cuddle with the kids and everything. So you learn a lot of things when you have exposure.
What's your website, Robert?
AboutWeb.com.
Tell me that again.
AboutWeb.com.
We've been speaking with Robert Epstein from AboutWeb. Don't forget to visit our website, executiveleadersradio.com, to learn more about our executive leaders. That's executiveleadersradio.com to learn more about our executive leaders. We'll be back in a moment.